When you decide to get a new home, chances are you'll come across DR Horton. Since 2002, DR Horton has been the largest home construction company in the US. As of 2021, the revenue was $27.93 billion. What has made DR Horton so popular? Company itself gives the credit to its customer-centric approach.
We take pride in building quality homes and delivering the best service before and after you move in.
However, the ongoing class action lawsuit states the opposite.
In fact, one homeowner says his house has crooked walls and his neighbor's roofs are caving in.
In this video, we will talk to an outraged DR Horton's client. We'll also hear from experts and find out if DR Horton worth it and what the alternatives are. My name is Eiler and welcome to Peace Consumer Channel. Let's dive deeper into this case. As soon as Christy of Oklahoma and her family got an opportunity to buy a home, they did so immediately. Back then, they had no idea that working with DR Horton will take a lot of their time and energy.
This is our first home. It was supposed to be a dream home. You know, you buy your first home. It was supposed to be a dream come true. You know, you finally get a house. You're going from renting your whole life, and then all of a sudden you buy a house and you're so excited. You built in, or you bought into, like, America's home builder is supposed to be like the best. And it's been a huge disappointment. And it's crushing completely.
The issues with the house began literally from the moment it was purchased.
We have actually been here a year and a half, and we're supposed to have a warranty with the builder for the first year. So we've had a lot of issues. I can go over them. For one thing, one of the main beams in our attic was built in front of our filter for our air conditioning unit. They had to go in and cut the beam and remove that in order to get to our filter. Our floors are uneven. The walls and the windows are all uneven. The retaining wall in the back collapsed before we even moved in. And so it's collapsed during every big storm. It seems to collapse. And we've had to rebuild it 5 times. So it's been really bad. The stairs have collapsed. So, I mean, and they just rebuilt it, and we haven't had a heavy rain since they rebuilt it. So I'm just expecting it to happen probably when the next rain. Our yard doesn't drain properly. We have standing water everywhere, and that goes throughout our whole block. It comes down, and it just drains all the way down the street, and then it comes down through our house and then to the neighbor's house, and it just stays there in our yard, and it's just huge, like a lake. And then we put that in for a repair, and we had a contractor come out, and they just added dirt everywhere. Earth, Wind, and Fire was who they were, and they came out and they just added dirt everywhere, supposedly filling the holes and helping grade the lawn so it would drain properly. They didn't fix one thing. It just got worse. Now we have land above our foundation. So when it rains, we have water that seeps into our home because they added so much dirt, and we still have standing water. So they promised us in email and in person in conversation, they promised they would put in drains. And then when the day came, we took it off work for them to come and work. They just brought in a huge truck full of dirt, and we're like, what's going on? And none of them spoke English, so I couldn't converse with any of them. So finally we got a hold of the guy, and he goes, well, we decided to do it different. We decided to just put dirt down and keep the water away from your home. And I was like, how is that going to work? Oh, it'll work, I promise. I'll be there the next day to make sure it will. Well, obviously, he never came the next day. They never made sure, and it didn't work, obviously. So it's really bad right now.
The founder of InterNACHI, the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors, Gromicko, believes that people face such problems all around the country.
I would say it's not only countrywide, it's forever. Whenever you're building, thousands of homes in different states on different pieces of property at different times using different subcontractors, you're going to get complaints. That's why, consumers in the United States have, 1 year to find anything wrong with the house and alert their builder to it to have it repaired for free. It's just that there's just too many things that can go wrong on a house. So it's ever going to change. I don't think there's ever going to be a builder that knocks out homes perfectly every time. I would say mostly a builder shouldn't be judged by so much as on how many complaints they get, because that's relative to how big they are. They should be judged on how they handle those complaints, right? So I think that's how DR Horton should be judged.
At the same time, real estate expert Ty Wilde notes that the financial volume of the construction company, unfortunately, is not always the indicator of the quality of their product.
DR Horton is number 1, right? Lennar's number 2, Pulte's number 3, NVR is number 4, and Taylor Morrison is number 5. The list of top 5 builders I just gave you is actually by volume. So they're the biggest builders, I guess you could say. They have the most closings. But I kind of just did some quick research. Taylor Morrison is actually the only one out of the top 5 in volume that's also in the top 5 of the highest rated builders in the United States. So I think what's interesting is of those top builders that I just named, the nation's largest builders, they're all at the bottom of the list for the highest rated builders. So all these builders come in at 2 stars. You're going to find KB Homes, Lennar, Pulte, and of course, DR Horton. And just so you know, I'm not making these numbers up. These actually come from Life Story Research, and they're the most extensive and longest running research program in the United States.
But then why do people keep working with DR Horton over and over again?
I think they're popular because they're everywhere, right? I mean, you need a house in a certain city, you're going to find DR Horton there. That's, they're the largest builder in volume by far. Lennar is the only builder that's even close to them. So they're just everywhere. And as a real estate agent who often works with those looking to build, people often make the mistake of looking for the best price when really they should be focusing on the best value. And DR Horton just offers a cheap home.
Our guest was guided by this similar principle when choosing a house.
The main reason we chose them is because we were looking for a home, and it was because the rates were so low, everybody and their dog was looking for a home at the same time. And so we were having a hard time finding a home, and we were told that they were actually a better company. And our realtor advised us to, go into this and talk to the guy, John, who was selling the homes, and talk to him about purchasing a home from this builder. So we did, and we're like, okay, this is actually not bad. So we looked at the homes, and they looked nice, and it was like they said to be ready about the same time our rental lease would be through. And so we decided it was 5 months, within 5 months from the date we signed the contract. And so we signed it, and we thought it would be really good.
According to Gromicko, buyers usually make a number of mistakes when choosing a house and a builder.
All builders aren't great. So if you want to compare one builder to another, they all look about the same. But it's, they don't build custom homes. They build tract homes and homes and plans. So you're getting sort of what you expect, I think, with DR Horton. And I think the main thing is that you have to be adamant that you want a third-party inspection before you close on the house. A lot of consumers are too shy to demand it. especially when the builder or the on-site manager tries to dissuade them. Either that or they're just so happy that they got the house that they want, that they're not forceful in demanding a third-party inspection. Or the last one is that they think because it's new, like something you would buy from Walmart, that it's in good shape. And that's a myth. Yes, the house is new, but every DR Horton house is different, built by different subcontractors on different pieces of property with different plans. And so things go wrong. These aren't built on an assembly line like a car, or a table saw or something that you would buy new from a store and bring home. And in that sense, since really a new home is not really built on an assembly line, it's built by people.
However, what's done is done, and the time can be rewound. What solution is Christy looking for?
I would like my home repaired. I mean, I came into this house hoping it would be a good home and be repaired. We're not unable to even sell it for what it's worth because it needs so much repair, and we're not gonna make anything money, much less pay off whatever we owe on it.
But finding a solution to her own issue is not her only reason for reaching out to Peace Consumer. She wants to warn potential DR Horton customers.
The reason I want to be on here is because I want to make sure nobody buys a DR Horton home. Do not buy a DR Horton home because they're considered America's favorite home builder or something like that. Largest home builder. And that is very, very, very sad because they are treating veterans like this. They're not even repairing our home. They're not doing anything for us. And we built a home that probably will not be, unless we sink a lot of money in it, it's not going to be here in 5 years.
Nick Gromicko is convinced that safe and quality alternatives to DR Horton exist. He has found this out from his own experience.
I owned a Richmond home. I own 2, 3, 4. I own 4 Lennar homes. Those are homes that are, those are companies, Richmond and Lennar, that are competitors to DR Horton, probably in about the same price range. And, you can always look for a different builder. But one must remember that these building corporations don't build homes. Subcontractors build them. And so I have 2 homes that are next to each other from Lennar that I bought this year. When I saw inflation going through the roof, I bought a couple of houses pretty inexpensively. 2 of them are next to each other. And they're built quite differently, believe it or not. The framing on one was rough. Not atrocious, but rough compared to the other one. And that's the same corporation, but 2 homes framed quite differently. And one very sloppily and one very neatly. And that can only be attributed to the fact that these corporations don't build homes. The local contractors on the ground and subcontractors and laborers, those are the ones that are building the house. So you can't just look at this like this, as I said, something you just bought brand new off an assembly line that was shipped to Walmart. You went there and got it, and it's like the one behind it. When you pick a package at Walmart, and there's 20 on the shelf, you don't go through them all, and you don't expect them all to be different. But that's not true in housing. Like I said, I have 2 homes side by side from the same builder that are quite different in quality, I would say.
But choosing a home builder is not a panacea. Here are a few tips from real estate expert Ty Wilde.
You have a couple things happening here, right? Because there's people who are thinking about building, people who are currently building, and people who are done building. So kind of this is advice I give to anyone building a home with any builder. If you're currently building a home, you kind of want to stay on top of things. Most builders will hold a 4-way and a final walkthrough, and these meetings give you the opportunity to find mistakes and ask the builder to fix them. And of course, I have videos that kind of walk you through those 2 very important meetings because most people don't even know what to look for. If your home has been completed, and the builder hasn't been responding, or they don't seem to want to fix those problems or whatever, I always recommend writing a detailed letter to whoever's running the company in that area and list the things that have gone wrong and how you'd like it resolved, and then give them specific dates to respond, maybe a week or two. And just make sure you don't get emotional or that you don't embellish. You'll want to explain. I guess you just don't want to embellish it, right? Because if you embellish, then it's going to feel like you're lying. And if they think you're lying, then you're really not going to get results, right? But if the builder refuses to meet with you or make those repairs, you don't want to make empty threats. But you might want to say, if you guys won't do this, then, I am going to leave you bad reviews online, or I may talk to an attorney. But don't say that unless that's really the plan. So if you do leave a review online, make sure it's honest. That's the one thing. Just make sure it's an honest review. Some builders will actually reach out to you to resolve the issue because they don't want to see the bad review. Unfortunately, national builders are not like that. Most of them just kind of let them stay or whatever. Foremost, do your research. I thought, hey, I got this cool interview going on with this great company. I'm going to just do some quick research on DR Horton. I just put in Google DR Horton reviews. In just 2 or 3 minutes, I found DR Horton's ratings on Trustpilot. They had a 1.8 out of 5 stars with 47 reviews. Customer Affairs had a 1.3 out of 5 with 109 reviews. Yelp had a 1.5 out of 5 stars with 153 reviews. And of course, our favorite company, Piss Consumer, had 1.5 out of 5 stars with 337 reviews. So I don't even need to read the reviews. Clearly, there's a lot of people who are unhappy with their home, right? So that's number one. That was easy. In a couple of minutes, you can Google a builder and kind of be like, oh, wow, they have lots of bad reviews, or the ratings are really low, or the ratings are high. I feel comfortable with this. Second, hire a real estate agent, preferably with new home construction experience. And, in case you didn't know this, the builder will actually pay your realtor. So it doesn't cost you a dime to have professional representation. And then, of course, tip number 3, subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I give all sorts of tips and have videos. The most important video is, if you don't understand the home build process, how are you supposed to know what's going on, right? So I have a really in-depth video that explains the home build process. It takes an hour, goes through every single step. Or for those of you that only have 12 or 15 minutes, I have a very short version of that same video. But I do recommend having at least a basic understanding of the home build process, because there are rules. I mean, most people don't know that if you're in a house that's under construction, you're trespassing, and you could actually get in trouble. So, you need to understand all these different rules and regulations. And often people are like, oh, why aren't there any framers in my house? The house has just been sitting there. There's schedules and often really good reasons why the framers haven't started yet.
Folks, thank you for watching this video. Let's help Christy succeeds in finding best solution to her issue. If this video was useful, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your experience dealing with home builders in the comments. Also, if you like what we do, you can help us financially. The donation link you will find in the description. That's all for today. Thank you, and see you next time.